Hey, welcome back to another episode of the DVO show. I am your host, DVO Derek Van Otten, and I'm with my new friend, Rob Adams. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Great. I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking as well.
Nice.
So we just met just this past weekend, actually. I actually heard about you and your cause. We'll talk about that in a little bit from the I Am Salt Lake podcast. So I'm subscribed to that one. People don't maybe realize that even though I have a few podcasts, I listen to podcasts all day long from all sorts of different topics.
That's a good one to listen to.
It is a great one.
Yeah.
And so I got and heard your story, and it hit me. You know, it hit me. Anything to do with kids, single mothers, military, first responders. Like, that stuff hits my heart, man. So
No, I got you covered then.
Yes. So that stuff hits my heart, and so I kind of heard about you and your cause, and we'll get into that. And that you had a motorcycle charity ride, the first of many coming up. And I was lucky when I heard it. I logged in. I'm like, oh, this is happening this weekend. And we had a cool little motorcycle ride. But Rob, tell us that right now. Kind of tell us about yourself and then your cause, Thanksgiving Heroes.
Well, Rob Adams. I've been living in Salt Lake since 1989, so I've been here for a long time. I've got a family of girls, 4 daughters. And all beautiful girls that took after their mom, thank goodness. And I have been successfully selling real estate for the past 11 years.
Wow.
And I started a nonprofit about 7 years ago.
Great.
Yeah.
And where did that come from? And then go into it.
Well, the nonprofit came into the idea that I owed it. I felt like I owed it to the universe to pay it forward. The story is that when I was a boy, I grew up in South Texas, right? Just northeast of Houston, in a little town called Porter. And growing up there, we moved down there from Las Vegas. My dad was a HVAC guy.
Okay.
We got down there, and the company wanted him to upsell or lie. Hey, your air conditioner's broken. You need this part. And he wouldn't do it. He just said, I won't do that. And so he got fired. And this was during a time when having a job was a hard thing to find.
Okay.
And so there we were. We'd spent all of our savings. We got down to Houston, and we didn't have a job. And I was 11 years old. And so we lived in the back of our pickup truck. We had an old Dodge. Mom and Dad would sleep up in the cab, and us kids would sleep in the bed.
Oh, my goodness.
So pretty poor.
Yeah.
I look at it now and I think how great my mom and dad must have been. I had no idea that we were poor. I thought we were just camping, and I was having a great time. I had no idea that we were struggling, and I think as a dad how hard that would be.
Sure.
Because I want my kids to have everything, but my mom and dad played positive, and so it was a great experience. But I would only eat at school, so I would have free breakfast and free lunch.
Okay.
I'd get off the bus and I would run. I would literally run into the cafeteria because I'd be so hungry.
Sure.
And, being an 11-year-old boy, I was really starting to grow.
Yeah.
And I think they're hungry naturally anyway.
Uh-huh.
So I'd get in there, and those lunch ladies down in South Texas, boy, they loved a hungry boy. And so they'd load me up with grits and, biscuits and gravy and all that good Southern comfort food. And it was great. Right around Christmas time, it started getting cold. Even in South Texas, it cools off. And we didn't have anywhere to go. There was a family down there, the Christiansen family. They were actually from Salt Lake.
Okay.
And they would come home to visit their family during the holidays. And so they invited us into their home to stay while they were gone.
Wow.
And they didn't know us.
Oh, wow.
I'd never met them before. They just came and grabbed us off of our little land there in Porter, Texas, took us over to their town in Kingwood, Texas, and we stayed there. And underneath the Christmas tree, there was a big old picture window in front. Underneath that Christmas tree was presents for my family, and
oh my gosh,
it was amazing. I'd never heard of. There wasn't a sub for Santa back then. It was a kind of a unique idea that somebody else bought us Christmas, and it really stuck in my head. But what mattered was when we went up into the kitchen. This beautiful house, I mean, gorgeous. Went upstairs to the kitchen, opened the fridge. The fridge was clear full of food. There was a pumpkin pie right there on that first shelf with the whipped cream in the middle. You know what I mean? I was so excited for that food.
And you're 11, right?
And I was 11, and I remember looking at my mom and saying, "Mom, one day when I'm rich, I'm going to do this for somebody."
Oh, wow.
And that stuck with me. That stuck with me all these years. And so, fast forward, I joined the Navy, and I was in the Army. I did some service for our country, and then...
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm grateful for the opportunity. That made me who I am. I was selling real estate. I was in my second year of business, and I was doing really good.
Okay.
I'm a hard worker, always have been. Being raised poor, you get the hustle. You know what I mean? I'm used to working hard, and I don't want to be poor, and so I was really putting in the effort. And my mom was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Wow.
And she became incredibly mortal. I don't know if you've been around anyone that's on the verge, but they become very honest and open. And my mom said, Rob, you need to quit talking about doing this and go do it.
I like it.
And put me to it. So I said, okay, well, I'll go feed 10 families. And my mom was diagnosed with brain cancer in June. And of course, Thanksgiving's in November, and she was gone by November. She wasn't around to see our first year. But I remember really kind of being compelled by this, wanting to impress my mom and wanting to pay this forward. So I was going to feed 10 families. I set a goal, and I went into the grocery store, and I took everything that I thought you would need for Thanksgiving. I made the list, turkey, potatoes, cranberry sauce, right down to the olives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty good list, and it cost about $80 to buy that food if I were to walk in. And so I said I could do 10 families on my own.
Okay.
So I could financially, I was ready to make that contribution. I told my friend, and he said, well, I'll feed 10 families.
Okay.
And it just took off. We raised enough to feed 755 families that first year.
The first year?
Yeah.
Your goal was 10.
10.
700, over 750.
755. I'll never forget that number. The school district, I went to the Jordan School District. There was a gal there named Nancy Ward. And I told her what my goal was. I said, hey, I told her the story. I said, I want to do this. Are there any kids you could recommend? And she said, Rob, they actually just cut our financing for Thanksgiving. We get a lot of money at Christmas. A lot of people donate. A lot of people show up. But no one does anything at Thanksgiving. She said, you're an answer to our prayers.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's great. I mean, who doesn't want to be an answer to someone's prayers?
Exactly.
20% of the kids, she told me, don't eat unless they're at school. 20% here in Utah, which I don't know if you've looked around here in Utah. We're a thick crowd.
Yes.
We eat well here.
Yes.
We love our ice cream.
Right.
And so that means for the 5 days that we're off for the holiday, these kids aren't eating.
Wow. And you know that feeling.
I know that feeling, and that is a terrible feeling. I remember being so hungry that I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't hear what the teacher was saying because I was so excited for lunch.
Sure.
Whatever
That's your whole mind was at.
Yeah, all I could think about was that food. And I think about these kids that are struggling with hunger and without food in their home, and it's not their fault.
Right.
As adults go, I feel like I've made the choices in my life to be where I am today.
Amen to that.
You feel good about that?
Yeah.
But these kids, they don't get that opportunity.
Exactly.
Their parents, whatever their choices are, aren't their fault, and these kids are hungry. And so, as I have these school teachers nominate the kids, it's meaningful to me. I have a hard time sometimes feeding just adults. I do target adults. There's some adults that I want to work with. I would like to help adults that are struggling with when I was a police officer for 8 years, and these guys, these officers, love them or hate them, they're one paycheck away from bankruptcy, most of them.
Sure. And
if they have any medical problems, their kids are sick, they are in a bad way. And so I would love to help firefighters and police officers and men and women of the military and any of these people that need the help, because we have these huge resources in our country where they would give their lives to protect our freedom.
Sure.
And they're being paid very little.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I want to support them as adults, but most of the time I'm targeting these children because I want them to have the food in their homes during the holiday.
Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt and talk to the crowd here. This is what I heard from you talking right now. You come from humble beginnings where your mom says, "Hey, put up or shut up," right? And your dad's like, "No, we're gonna have an honest living. We're not gonna lie, cheat, and steal." And then you yourself, you're like, hey, I've come from a place of servitude. I'm going to serve the best I can.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing right now, and that's incredible.
Thank you.
I think that's incredible.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of times where we sit back and we look on the TV or hear on the radio or social media, and you think to yourself, man, someone should really do something about that. And I've decided to be one of those people doing something about it. You can't say that your whole life comfortably and sit back with a good conscience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I've been talking to my wife about putting together some type of charity event as well, because we've also, me and my wife, put ourselves in a position of affluence, and it's like we can either make money and donate it or leverage our time through our businesses and donate our time, and we're able to do that. And it was funny because on the podcast with the I Am Salt Lake, you said one of the top questions you're asked are, how do I start a 501c3? And your answer was, don't do it.
Don't do it. Run.
So,
yeah, get involved with, that would be my advice. Get involved with something that you're passionate about. If it's cancer, if it's food, there's a ton of people out there probably doing it. And align with them. And if you don't align with them, go find someone who does until you get the hang of the charity. Be on a board, like get engaged and then learn. Because like my goal to feed 10 families has turned into this huge, crazy monster of an organization. And every day I'm learning and coming across. I wish I would have had a little bit of a mentorship before I would have jumped in with both feet.
Right. So I told my wife that. I said, maybe we shouldn't push so hard right now, and maybe we should get, because we're involved with other charitable things around our state here, and we want to get involved with Thanksgiving Heroes as well. And so I told my wife, like, let's get more involved with these organizations that we're already a part of, and then let's kind of get our feet wet, kind of understand it before we actually jump in and just start our own. Because I'm already looking at this big elephant of a charity, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So why are you involved in these charities? Like, what is it that compels you to want to do those things?
That's a great question. I just feel like something speaks to my heart, and like I said, these soft spots for me, whether it's military, kids, animals as well. That's a big one for me too. Like I just feel it, and growing up, very middle class, there's nothing you can do. I remember wearing shoes until there were holes, and I'm like, can I get new shoes now, Mom and Dad? Because there's like water's going in my shoes now. So now I can get new shoes, and now I'm in a position where I can buy new shoes anytime I want, and I just see people, and I'm just like, I can help. I just feel like I can. Like you said, I feel like because I can, I should.
I love that. We have a responsibility, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed a lot of, and I just had my birthday. I just turned 50.
Oh, my birthday.
Thanks. On my birthday, as I turned 50, the one thing that occurred to me, the why I keep doing this, is because this gives me something that nothing else in my life gives me. I've bought new cars. I've bought new homes. I've hit those goals. I've invested. I've done the things that, all the things that we think are going to bring us happiness.
Right.
And, all I'm buying is future garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for Christmas, when I buy my kids presents, I'm pretty sure they forgot about them before the end of the month. You know what I mean? That's December's at the end of Christmas is the end of the month. Give them a week and it's just garbage.
Yeah.
And so the question is, why? And the answer in my mind, what I came to, is fulfillment. There's very few things in this life that actually fill my cup, like serving at this level.
Sure.
And in so serving, as I've had other people come and join me in this activity, they keep coming back again and again because they're getting something that they don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a different type of people have their poisons for their high, and like you said, like this is kind of a high for some people. It's like, well, this feels amazing. I want to keep feeling this.
How can I keep feeling this good?
Yeah.
Or this much love on the big day, the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, goosebumps now talking about it.
Yeah. It's a universal truth, brother. You can't deny it. It's like arguing about gravity.
right.
On the big day, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, that's the 20th this year of November. We will be taking volunteers. You pull up in your car. We're gonna have a radio station there. We're gonna. It's the best day of the year because Thanksgiving, number one, is awesome. There's no weird gift dynamic, right?
Yeah.
There's just food and gratitude.
Yes.
And as we celebrate this, as these people are pulling in, you'll wait in line, which is a very unpopular thing to do these days. And everyone rolls their windows down. The radios are turned up. People are getting out of their cars. Even last year with the vid running, people were still getting out and hugging one another, and they were excited to be a part of it. It's pure love, and it reminds me that this world is full of good people.
Right, yes.
And aren't we taught otherwise? Don't we hear otherwise all day?
Yes, we do.
And it doesn't
matter.
matter.
Turn that off.
Try to turn it off. But I'm afraid of you because I don't know you. I'm afraid of you because you have blue eyes and I have brown eyes. Or I'm afraid of you for all of these reasons and I don't even know you. And so what I think the world really needs is a deeper level of connection, an opportunity to find fulfillment, and an opportunity to think outside of the next deal, the next thing, the next whatever, right?
Yes.
And that's the magic sauce. I think that's what keeps me coming back.
I love that. I have a lot of family in third world countries. My wife's family is from Mexico. My mom's family is from the Philippines. And, I've seen some horrific things. In my eyes, in my first world eyes, they're horrific. They don't know any better. They think they're living in a cozy home. and you just see, you know, I saw kids in four walls, not even a roof, right? Just four walls. I've seen them squatting outside their door just to use the restroom. Like I've seen things that's like I couldn't live like that. There's no way I could, but they are, and they deal with it every day. And yeah, you get that. It's like, how can I do it?
Yeah.
You know, if I have something happen to like a family member, and my mom's like, oh, what can we do? I want to be the person that says, don't worry, mom, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that person. I want to change my family tree.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I love that. I feel like I am recoding my genetic heritage by creating for my children. Like I said, I have 4 daughters who want for nothing. Their lives are pretty good. And they need to know. They need to see that. And when I take them into these homes, even in our own community, we walk out with a new level of gratitude that wasn't there before. And it's right before Christmas. It goes from entitlement to gratitude. It's powerful medicine.
Absolutely. So Thanksgiving Heroes. So the first year, your goal was 10. You helped 755 families.
Yeah.
Where does it go the next year? I mean, that's you. You probably were like, I don't know how to contain all of this at once.
Well, I was done. Check that karmic box. I was through. I'm never going to do this again. So much work.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
Okay.
I think that seems right. I thought, I checked the box. I had fulfilled my obligation to the universe. I paid the price. You know what I mean? Mom would have been proud if she was there. Looking down, I'm sure she was proud of her boy. But I wasn't going to do it again. I get a call about 6 weeks before Thanksgiving from a single mom, and she said, Rob, what are we doing? Where are we doing Thanksgiving Heroes at? And I'm like, well, we're not. I'm done. And she goes, well, that's a shame because it was the very best part of our holidays.
Wow.
And she said, I was standing in the aisle, and I was trying to decide, do I pay my rent or do I buy food? And I got the call from the school district that you were going to take care of the food. And now this year we're on our feet, and we want to be a part of it.
Great for her, yeah.
Right. And it was the first time it occurred to me, like, wow, the people that we've served now want to step up and be a part of the solution.
Yes.
And I said, well, all right, let me see what I can do. And in 5 weeks, we were able to feed 533 families.
In 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh
I called everybody I knew. I was on the phone all day. I called everybody. And I talked about it until I was sick of talking about it. And we were able to do it. And the grocery store, it was up on the east side. I forget which grocery store it was. But they were kind enough to let us put all the food together in their deli section, where they're kind of some tables over there. We pushed the tables out of the way. I assembled the food, and then I had some of my friends. Patty Hosh and her boys showed up, and they schlepped the food out to the cars all day.
Wow.
And we delivered all that food to families. It was rough, and we barely made it happen, but we got it done. But fast forward, now we've been doing it this is our 7th year. Last year we fed 2,500 families.
2,500, wow.
2,500 families, that's a big number, you think about it, but until you see 2,500 gallons of milk all on pallets, lined up, 14 semi-truckloads dropping off 2,500 20-pound turkeys.
Yeah.
And the turkeys come in a four in a box, these frozen birds, and there's pallets and pallets and pallets of these turkeys, and they're lined up, and it just is like a mountain of potatoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's so much food. And so last year we were able to partner with a company here in Draper called Spectrum Solutions. Amazing, a great company. I can't sing their praises enough. They were actually able to take the food off the trucks, which is about the hardest part for me, sort the food, put it into boxes, and then all I had to do was have people show up and take the food and to go deliver it.
Wow. Just give them like a couple addresses and say, here we go.
So and I'll share the website with you so that you can put it in the description. But you can go on and nominate a family.
Okay.
If you nominate a family and it goes in, because there's a point where we get to full and you can't nominate anymore.
Got it.
Then I'll deliver the food, no questions asked. I don't want to know the story. If they deserve the food, we'll deliver the food.
I like that.
If you nominate a family, you don't get to deliver to that family.
Okay.
You only get to deliver to strangers.
Okay.
My belief is that strangers need to be serving strangers.
I like that.
I need you, as the family being served, I need you to feel loved by someone you don't know. It creates a hope that you wouldn't have. Like, someone out there really cares about me. And I have a script that says, I don't know who nominated you, but someone in the community must love you very much, and we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. It's about love.
Yeah.
And I want strangers to love on strangers, and I don't care how weird that sounds. I was thinking this year that I want to change it from 65 pounds of food to 65 pounds of hope, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's more than just the food, you know? And more often than not, I hear stories where at the motorcycle ride, there was this dude that came up, Jason. He said, I didn't know what this was about. I just saw the ride on Facebook, but I showed up, and he's like, you fed my family when I got a divorce, and my son was diagnosed with a blood cancer.
Wow.
And we wouldn't have had food, but I sat down there, and this guy was on the motorcycle ride.
Yeah.
And he said, you saved our holiday. And I was just like, when I hear that, it's just like my heart is open.
Yes.
I feel like I got goosebumps just telling you the story. And I love that now he'll show up this year because he's on his feet and he'll pay it forward.
I love it.
Isn't that great?
It really is.
It's so cool.
You never know what domino effects you have. You're going on that I Am Solid podcast. I don't know, you probably had zero intentions. It's like, let's just keep spreading the word.
Yeah.
And then you hit somebody like me who was like, I'm signing up this weekend. I'm donating. I'm going to go on this motorcycle ride. I'm going to buy raffle tickets. I was like, I don't know how much money I just dumped. I shouldn't say dumped. I mean that in a nice.
You dumped it. Yeah.
It's like I can, right? That's the thing, because I can.
Yeah.
It does not affect my family financially to do this.
It does. It does affect your family financially. By doing good, you're telling the universe, I am worthy of good. Right. And you're bringing it into your life. Yeah. I always say, Thanksgiving's Heroes it blessed so many lives, but more than anybody, mine.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'll lose my wallet, and I'm like, it'll show up. I'm good. I know it'll show up. Or, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what
everything works out for me because I'm doing something like this. And so, you didn't dump anything. In fact,
you're right.
You were putting money back in your own pocket, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's why when you come on this podcast, I don't know who this will reach, but I hope it reaches somebody.
I hope it's you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you like kids, I'm just saying.
And puppies. Oh man. Well, I think about the people that it's going to affect, and mostly I would like to imagine in my mind's eye there's a little boy out there, a little Robbie.
Okay.
And someone's going to do something for him like someone did for me.
Right.
And they'll grow up and they'll think, I need to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And the Thanksgiving's Heroes has spun off charities in other states where they fed people for a Thanksgiving, and then they decided, you know what's meaningful to me is to raise money and buy bikes for kids who don't have them.
Oh, wow.
Or shoes for kids that don't have them.
Yeah.
And I honestly, just like I said in the other podcast, I believe it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just do something. Anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
I mean, let's go back to what you just said there. If you go to the website, you'll see Thanksgiving Heroes is in multiple cities now, multiple states. Where it just started here locally in Salt Lake, Utah, which is it's expanded within Utah, but it's also in other places. Where's it at now?
It's in Cleveland. It's in Dallas, and it's in Las Vegas.
Right.
This
Florida
year,
too, right?
No, not Florida.
Oh, okay.
Florida was one of them that started out, and then they decided they wanted to do the bikes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they went in a different direction, which, good on them.
Right.
Somebody did something for him when he was a boy and bought him a bike, and so that's his meaningful, right?
Yeah.
Find your meaningful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. That's awesome. But it's just where you've started now, where it's reached. How many families, how many hands have you reached now because of this? Whether they were impacted directly or indirectly.
I don't know. It's
thousands. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of families, and I've had families sign up again and again over the years, and then I've had other families that have gotten on their feet, and now they're signing up to volunteer again and again over the years.
Yeah.
And so it goes. It's just going to continue to grow. It's exciting that it's in other places. It's actually kind of surreal. I'm not going to pretend like I honestly 10 families. That was it.
Yeah.
And now we're having maybe a national opportunity to help families across the United States. And I always say to myself, no hungry kids during Thanksgiving. That's my goal. And that's kind of like the loftiest goal someone could throw out there. But it could happen. Every time I've raised my number, every time I've said, okay, we're going to feed 1,500 families. Well, how much does that cost? Where are you going to get the money from? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But I'll end up on someo's podcast, or I'll end up in someone's office, and they're like, well, my company wants to get involved. How can we do that? And away we go. And I hit my goal. I've hit my goal every year.
That's great.
Yeah. And I have no idea I don't know how I'm going to get my goal this year.
You'll get it.
I'll get it. It's going to happen.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do our best to make sure that happens too.
Yeah.
I told my wife about it, and she's excited. We've got a plan for November 20th, Saturday before Thanksgiving this year. We're gonna go pick up some boxes and go deliver. I want my kids to see that other side, like you said. They've got everything.
Yeah.
And if they need to see the other side of like, hey, be grateful.
So you're going to show up in Draper. You're going to go through a line. There's going to be people with T-shirts and hats. We're always trying to raise money, selling some swag. They're going to be talking about our reoccurring monthly gift. It's a new program that Thanksgiving's Heroes has, where you can sign up and just do like a $10 gift every month. It just comes out just like your gym membership,
Right.
I've learned that it's hard for people to donate at Thanksgiving because they're heading into the holidays.
Yes.
And so a lot of families struggle with that, but I thought this reoccurring gift was a good idea, and it's easy. And if you want to feed 2 families, we'll just set the goal, and that's what your donation is every month.
Uh-huh.
And then you're going to pull back around in between these warehouse buildings. It's over there, right in Draper, right by the freeway. And I'll say, where do you live? And you say West Jordan or Tooele or wherever. And I give you 3 names, and I have a football player from one of the high schools who's going to
very cool.
throw the food in the back of your car, and away you go.
That's great.
Yeah, we're going to have a radio station there, FM 100.7,
Uh-huh.
all the 80s music. And
Good music.
yeah, it's gonna be a party, but it's gonna be. Here's the thing, and I say this a lot, but your kids, they don't hear you. I don't know if you notice that.
Yes.
They don't hear a single thing I ever say, my daughters, but they sure do see everything that I do.
Exactly.
And so it's a good way to show them that I serve, so you should serve. This felt good, you should feel good. Let's all do this together.
Right.
And it becomes a family tradition. I've got families that have showed up from the beginning. They've been a part of Thanksgiving's Heroes. They're going to be here on the 7th year.
Wow.
And they keep coming over because it's a tradition now.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Like you've got some swag on now, and you're gonna sell some more. Like, where'd you come up with that logo, the name, all of that? I kind of I'm into that.
Look at that Superman
awesome.
logo. Well, I'm a huge Superman nerd.
Okay.
I love Superman and the heroes.
You got your Clark Kent glasses on, right?
Yeah, I take these off. Watch this. Who's that guy? Nobody knows. Put him on. Oh, hey, Rob.
Exactly.
It works. Oh man, I love Superman. I've got him all over the place. I'm a Superman nerd. So of course that's the diamond, and then the turkey in there with the Thanksgiving's Heroes. When I did Heroes, I was actually thinking about those first responders, police officers, and firefighters and military folks as the heroes, and so that's just kind of how it shook out. And so we've stuck with it, and yeah.
Well, I was able to easily find you on Facebook because of your profile picture, and it's you basically ripping your shirt with the logo and the shield.
Yeah, I'm doing a Superman move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm just like I said, when I heard you on the podcast, it hit my heart. I had to look into it real quick right away. I was while I was listening. I listen while I drive a lot, and so I was just kind of scrolling through the ThanksgivingHeroes.org website, and I'll plug that into the description. And just kind of reading about you and the cause and what it does, and I was just I told my wife, we got to get involved. We want to go on this motorcycle ride. It was kind of cool for me, but
it was a chilly ride.
I thought it was great. I'm always hot though, so for me it was perfect.
Yeah.
For me.
Once we got getting down there we started at Linden. We were there like 8:30, 9 o'clock. That was a cold ride to get there.
Okay.
But when we hit up the canyon, man, that was so beautiful. We rode up and did the Cascade Springs over into the Alpine Loop, and man, the colors are changing.
Yes, perfect time.
It was amazing. I was hoping for 30 bikes to show up. That was my goal.
Uh-huh.
And we had 80 bikes, almost 80 bikes leave the Harley Davidson, and just over 60 bikes actually make it to the end and have lunch and be part of the auction and everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we raised enough to feed 134 families that day.
Great.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. And then I just missed the golf tournament. So you had a golf tournament. How long have you been doing the golf tournament?
This was our 4th year doing the golf tournament.
Okay.
And I love the golf tournament. It is so much fun when you go to Thanksgiving Point, perfect place for Thanksgiving's Heroes, right? And man, they are hospitable. It's a beautiful course. And they always take good care of us. We get some good hole sponsors. We have a lot of games. And so the golfers, we always sell out every year. It's getting to be a tradition.
Okay.
And people will show up. It's We have terrible scores at the golf tournament, but we have a great time.
That's what
So
matters.
it's not one of those kinds of tournaments where everyone's
Right.
all super serious.
Exactly. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
In fact, all my raffle tickets, I dumped into winning a foursome over there at Thanksgiving Point. Dumped all my raffle tickets.
Did you win?
No, I didn't.
Oh no!
Some of these guys they bought a lot of tickets. They were winning 3-4 prizes, and they're good for these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they loaded up. Some of them bought some tickets. That was really good.
Yeah, that's good. So 4 years, and this is the first bike ride.
First one.
Yeah. So
And I'd like to double it next year. So a successful ride is about 30 bikes, and so we more than exceeded that. Facebook, Insta, it's amazing what you can get out there now.
Yeah.
But the thing I noticed about motorcyclers is they all we're very cliquey. I'm a motorcycler. I've got my boys,
Yeah.
and I should say my pack. I shouldn't say boys anymore because there's a couple gals in there that are tougher than I am.
Okay.
They'll punch me in the neck if I say boys. And they sign me up. How I can be a part of it? They just want to contribute, and so it's a good crowd. And so it's fun to do a ride. I'd like to grow it and make it bigger next year.
Yeah.
Maybe have a concert at the end where we could pull
Oh, wow.
Wouldn't it be cool? It was like we rode our motorcycles and we got to the end, and then there was a show that was happening, and the kids were all invited, and make it more of a carnival than
I see.
than
I like
anything
that.
at all. I think that'd be fun, but we'll see where it goes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's great. I'm looking forward to next year already.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's great, and I like to see where it's going. Like, do you have any future visions for it, or just kind of just year by year set new goals, or?
I'd like to grow it. I'd like to grow it in Utah. I'd like to make sure that there's no hungry kids. We're breaking into a couple of new school districts this year. Granite School District, where the need is the greatest. We just got in with those guys, kind of hammering it out a little bit. We got in with Alpine last year, fed over 400 families down there, and that's the largest school district in the state, Alpine School District, and we're up into Davis, where the need is great, up into the Ogden area, and so I think the need is going to continue to grow, especially, I don't know, I feel like we're kind of in for a bumpy ride as a planet goes, and I think that there's going to be a lot of families struggling, and I just want to continue to grow it. I'd love to get outside the state. I'd love to be in more areas.
Okay.
And just expand outward. The people that are doing it are responsible. It's like a franchise in Cleveland. They're doing their own thing, but we coach them, and I'm helping them kind of build it, and don't make this mistake, do it this way, try that. And they're very coachable, and they're having a great amount of success. They're going to feed over 700 families there, and
great.
So I see it to continue to grow. Interesting. I went down to Dallas, Fort Worth. They're going to feed 1,000 families down there. Okay. And it's their third year. I had never been down there, and I went down, and it was pretty amazing. I made this up.
Sure.
Just to remind everybody.
Yeah.
I just made this up. And I went down to Dallas, and it's their third year. They're going to feed 1,000 families, and there's people that were bought in. They had delivered food last year and the year before, and they had felt that connection. They felt that fulfillment, and they're fans. And I went into this, they had a golf tournament. I went to the golf tournament, and they're like, "You're the Rob." And I was just like, "Yeah, I am the Rob." But it was super cool to see that the story about how I was taken care of as a boy, is a story that could be a common story everywhere. Everybody is either served or been served in some capacity as a child, and they remember that. I remember when we took gifts to this family for Christmas. I remember when someone did it for me. And it was kind of like a transcendent story, powerful moment for me. Like, this could be a big thing. We could really make a dent in the world, in the universe, by continuing to do this good stuff. It was cool.
And you were saying these boxes are, did you say 65 pounds?
65 pounds of food. They're big boxes. It takes two people mostly to carry it, or one of you, big strong guy like you, and to carry that food up. And so, it's awesome.
And what do you got in these boxes? I mean, I know, but I want you to tell people.
20 pounds turkeys, 18 to 20 pound turkey, gallon of milk, pumpkin pie with whipped cream. There's rolls. There's a salad or a vegetable tray. There's all the fixings for the green bean casserole with the French onions on top. You know the one. And there's butter, gravy packets, everything. There's everything. I mean, the cranberry sauce and olives, and it's all there.
Yeah, I mean, this will last a family more than just Thanksgiving Day. This will go for a few days.
So my goal is I did the Utah family averages 5 people.
Okay.
And I wanted enough food to feed 5 people for 5 days.
Wow.
So that was the goal, and so a lot of times people don't wait until Thanksgiving to cook the food. When I'm dropping it off, they're heating the oven up. They're cooking that food today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they have the best leftovers of the year all week long.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, such a great story. And real quick, I mean, these on the motorcycle ride, we got these cool little pins. Ooh, those things were awesome.
With Todd the turkey, our new mascot. Yeah, those were cool. I kind of geeked out about that because motorcycle rides. You see motorcycle guys on that. What do they have on their vests
and
patches and pins and so we got the idea to do a pin every year. And so I would like to see people rolling down the road, and I'm like, oh, that's a 2021 pin. I love it, you know.
Oh, that's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if people are listening and they feel compelled as well, they're like, man, you guys are hitting my heart. I know I mentioned the website, ThanksgivingHeroes.org. Anywhere else they can go? I mean, I know there's a Facebook page.
We're on Facebook, we're on Insta, and we're on Twitter.
Okay.
You don't have to look too hard to find us. Thanksgiving Heroes or Thanksgiving's Heroes with an S.
Okay.
You can find us in both those places. Those are pretty much the best place to find us. We're on YouTube. There's a lot of our videos are on there from years past. So you can see us delivering food and if you Google us, we've been on the news a few times.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
I bet it is. You not put makeup on?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I woke up like this. But sitting with a celebrity, Big Buddha, and he's asking you questions, you kind of are like, whoa, man, you're Big Buddha. You feel like it's hard to concentrate.
He's a friend of the podcast. He's been on.
So. Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love that guy.
Episode 1, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah. A good friend of mine, yeah.
Big Buddha, right?
Yeah, I love that guy.
Oh, man, he's solid. He's been to 2 Thanksgiving Heroes the big day.
Oh, awesome.
And supported us, showed up, and helped us get the word out.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. The second time he's like, why haven't you called me? I don't have your number, Big Buddha. I don't know how to reach you. Oh, funny.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Just so I can, like I said, I want my kids to see, not just say, hey, you should be nice and you should give and do the best you can.
Yeah,
but
be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person.
Yeah.
But it's you're exactly right. It's me actually doing it, and my daughter's tagging along and seeing it.
Yeah.
That's when they're gonna follow the lead. Exactly. They're gonna do what I do and not what I say.
Well, and it's important, as a dad with my daughters, just to take that moment and recognize, how'd that feel?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why do you think it felt like that?
That's a good point.
Did you see in their house? Did you see their fridge? What was in their fridge? Just kind of take a moment and really be in that moment and just really focus on this is, this is important.
Sure.
My first Thanksgiving, Sally, she's 13 now, going on 21. She's growing up too fast, but so 7 years ago, what would that make her? 8?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is my math right? And she, at my house for Thanksgiving, we have a tradition where we tell each other what we're thankful for. Everybody at the house tells the other person, we take a moment, pull them aside and say, hey, Mom, can I tell you what I'm thankful for about you?
Oh, great.
And I love your sense of humor, or I love how you love us, or whatever. That I'm really thankful for those things. And so we all have to do that. Sally, we sat down for Thanksgiving, we had our blessing on the food, and she said, before we eat, everybody's, before we eat, everybody's looking like, oh, here we go. She says, I just want to take a moment and I want to think about something. I want you guys to know that because of what we did on Saturday, there's over 700 families that are eating today. Dad, I'm so proud of you.
Wow. Yeah.
Proud of me?
Right.
She's proud of me?
Right.
And it just was, there it is. That's why. That's why I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to do this until I'm done. I'm going to do this. I feel like that's why God made me.
Yeah.
I feel like I found my thing.
Yes.
And I when I first came to that idea, this might be my thing. This might be what I was made for. I was just like, this is it. This is what I was made for. But the more I settle into that idea, the more I know that it's true. I was made to create these opportunities so that we could love one another. I was made to create this this opportunity for us to serve other people so that they could feel that there was hope. And I love that, and I connect to that, and it's important to me that I say it all the time. That's what I'm made for.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know how many people, how many hands you are either directly or indirectly reaching. Your daughter actually, her statement is a big example of an indirect connection of what you've done, and so. Even me, like I'm not directly, getting food, but what I'm indirectly just, hearing the podcast that you're on now, meeting you and being on a ride with you. I'm like, man, I can feel your energy in your soul, and I'm like, man, I want to help. Like I get excited. I'm like excited now. I can't wait for the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh man, I can't wait either. It's my favorite day of the whole year. We build up for it. I stress out about it. I worry about it.
You do.
I think about it. I pray about it, and then the big day comes, and everything, the windows of heaven, as they say, open, and everything aligns. And I think, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Sure.
And then I don't want to talk about Thanksgiving heroes ever again for 30 days. Don't bring it up. I don't want to know.
Like, this is the last year.
Yeah. It's like having a baby. I say this all the time. It's like having a baby. Like when you're pregnant, you're just like, oh, I'm miserable. This is a lot of work. And then there you are with that little person, and you're like, we should have another one.
I'll do this all over again.
Yeah. No. Think about it. Oh man. Yeah. It's gonna be a big opportunity. So. If you want to be more involved with Thanksgiving's Heroes, there's 3 or 4 things that I specifically need.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
If I could be so bold.
Please.
Number 1 is I have to raise money.
Yes.
I have more people show up on the big day to deliver food than actually donate.
Okay.
If all the people who showed up to deliver food donated $10, I bet I'd be able to get out you know what I mean? Everybody would get to deliver meals.
Now, how much would you say it would cost? I kind of did the math. I kind of did the math, but what do you think each box probably costs for you guys to get everything together?
I tell people it costs about $80 to buy the food if you were to walk into Harmon's today and buy it yourself. I think it's going to cost more this year. It feels like everything costs a little bit more this year. And so I think it's going to be right in that range, though. The Associated Foods is our food partner, and they deliver the food for free, which is very kind of them. All I have to do is pay for the gas. A driver volunteers his time every year, same guy. He's awesome. He'll drop off a trailer and go back and get one and drop off one and back and forth until we're done. And so that is a huge savings. But they put all the food together, Western Family, gravy, it's nothing, there's no designer brands here. Sure. It's about getting the volume and the food out. And so that's about the cost right there. But I beat them up a lot, and so the prices dropped because I'm buying 2,500 turkeys at a time. Yeah. They're always grateful to not talk to me for another year after we get all the food. So
the reason why I ask is because some people are really nerdy like me, instead of thinking like dollar figures, thinking like families. Like how many families? It's kind of, you maybe use that as a calculation. That's what I kind of did, and that's what I'm going to do on our next donation. I'm going to think more of families versus dollars. Like how many families? Right. Can I do? So I just want to do that so you guys can kind of calculate that if you're nerdy like me.
Yeah.
So number 1 would be money. Donations.
Money. And the thing I want you to know about money is, as I've done charities before, I've donated before, I often wonder how much money actually makes it to the kid.
Oh, yes.
Right? We have one employee here, and she is amazing. I don't take any pay. Right. And I don't know if I ever will. That seems like a slippery slope to hell. Sure. Those funds are sacred, and so I want you to know that the money that you donate, other than that one cost, goes to feed families. So it's pretty high.
Well, if you only have one play, I'm sure they have a to-do list like no one's business.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
this girl's a ninja, Jenny.
Wow.
Jenny, if you're listening, you
are
a ninja.
That is a lot of work. I understand that.
Well, the thing is the last year that I fed families. I got mixed up. I lost a few families. There was 15 families that I lost, and then on the big day, I got a call from the person, hey, where's the food? And I don't know where the food is. I misplaced your list, and she's come in and she's made it so that there's no lost families. Wow. If you show up, you're going to get food. If you don't, you know what I mean? So she's amazing. The second thing that I need is nominations. Okay. The school districts, they are very good at providing the help that I need. But the truth is that kids are kids. My kids will come home with a backpack, and on the bottom of their backpack are papers that I should have signed months ago.
Yeah.
And the kids have to take home a waiver and have it signed, and then bring it back to the teacher. And so I would imagine that I'm getting like 20% of my papers back.
Okay.
So it's a very small percentage of the kids that could actually use the help.
Right.
If in a perfect world, I would say, hey, who do you know that needs help? And you nominate a couple families, and I nominate a couple families, and those are the families that get served.
And it's unanimous, right?
And it's unanimous.
Yeah.
We're gonna help them out. And so nominating a family, and then the big day, of course, you can go to the website and volunteer. I say get there early as you can.
Okay.
And be a part of it.
It's a good problem to have.
And then the last thing is to spread the word, to get it out there for this reoccurring gift I was talking about. If you can sign up and do the $10 or the $15, whatever it is. Again, that goes back to the first ask on money, but it's these small payments that are going to make it so that I can increase this number.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would like next year to feed 3,500 families.
Great goal.
I'd like to grow it.
Yeah.
But I can't do that without the support.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I have a lot of companies that'll come, like a corporation, since we're a legitimate 503c now. They come and their employees will get involved. They'll do a virtual turkey drive that's called, they're like Verizon or doTERRA, and they'll do their own turkey drive, and we create the links for them, and they can track how much money their company has donated.
Got it.
So there's a lot of options out there for us to gather the funds, to organize the people, and then everyone shows up in their shirts, and they go deliver the food in their doTERRA gear, And
if you're a small business owner here, I mean, you have the sponsorships also, different tiers, and they can be on your website, on the box itself. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. The Hero's Halo is what I call it. It goes all the way around the box, and you can have your name on there with your logo. And I've got a lot of, surprisingly, I have a ton of companies that have signed up and donated and volunteered, and they don't want any recognition.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They just want the karma.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that always blows me away, because I always look at corporations like there's an angle. They're out for something. They want that golden dinosaur skull or a bottle of wine or some kind of a gift from the charity they're supporting, and they don't want anything. They just want to be a part of it.
Exactly.
And that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Good companies, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't put a price on a full heart. Right, whatever you do and that fills your heart, you can't put a price on it. It's a high.
Yeah.
It's literally a high, and you can't put a price on it, and it's like nothing else really, and it's incredible. So I get it. Yeah, I can totally see why people don't care. They're like, actually, I don't even talk too much about the things that I get involved with. But this is new to me, and I just want to get the word out there, because like I said, feeding kids. I mean, it hits my heartstrings. I got to do it.
Yeah, and it's a pure activity. Like you'll see these kids do happy dances when they see that pumpkin pie.
Oh my gosh! Don't tell me that.
You're gonna see these kids just like food in our house. Like they just light up, and it's amazing. And the food all comes in a box, but you don't have to deliver it all in the box. I like to open up the box and hand Sally the turkey, and I'll have my daughter Mariah carry the milk.
Oh, that's great.
And we all are packing it up to the door, and so it's a thing.
Yeah.
And that has been really good, because we are all kind of working together.
Right. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. That is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the hands-on. It's very hands-on for your kids. To experience that is incredible.
Yeah, I love it. I do love it. It's embarrassing how much I do.
It's not embarrassing. That's awesome.
Oh man, it is good stuff. It makes me happy. Selling real estate. I love to sell real estate. I love to help out that first-time home buyer, that single mom, to achieve the goal of home ownership. There's something like wildly satisfying about that.
Yes.
But this is like that plus 100. You know what I mean? Like it feels so good.
Yes.
Because there's no expectation of a transfer of. No, it's just awesome.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
That's cool. Rob, any parting words? I know you've given a lot, so if there's not any more else, I totally understand. But anything else? If I didn't ask or didn't cover, I want to make sure I cover all the bases for you.
And I just want to end kind of on if I could convey the belief that the world is conspiring for your good.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe the universe is conspiring for my good, for my
Right.
well-being, and this is my way of transferring that message out to other people. I've been very blessed in my life because I put myself in a position to be blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to encourage your listeners to put themselves in that position. If you want to, if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling down in any way, the quickest way to get out of that position is to serve someone else.
Right.
And so get out of your own head and help somebody. It doesn't matter what you do it.
That is a great ending right there. Rob, appreciate you. Appreciate what you've created. I'm so inspired by it. And I hope even if a few listeners here want to get involved, reach out to me or Rob or the organization. And I promise you will have an even better Thanksgiving. I can guarantee you that. Rob, thanks for coming on.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Join us.
Take care. Have a good one. Bye.